Ethan, after 15 years, we're eliminating your position, my boss, Michael Reed, said flatly. Clean out your desk by end of day. My name's Ethan Carter, 50 years old, senior systems analyst at Horizon Innovations in Austin, Texas, a man used to the clack of keyboards, the glow of screens, and the pressure of network security systems keeping the whole company standing. Until that Monday morning, I was the backbone of the IT department, the guy who built the network from when Horizon was just a scrappy startup in a warehouse. But when Michael called me into his office, with Sarah from HR already seated, her face blank as stone, I knew before he opened his mouth. The air had shifted weeks ago. I nodded once, said, I understand. No anger, no begging, just quiet acceptance. I walked out, my boots heavy as lead, back to my desk through the sidelong glances of co-workers. Word spreads fast. Most of them were young engineers I'd trained, kids I taught how to fix network crashes, recover lost data, navigate the custom software I'd written. They were sharp, but none of them knew the security systems I'd built or the admin accounts buried 3 layers deep in the company servers. I packed my things methodically. A family photo with my daughter Lily, a coffee mug she made in 8th grade art class, a small cactus that somehow survived 15 years under office fluorescence. Jenna from marketing stopped by, her face tight. With worry, Ethan, I just heard, this is absurd. You practically built this place. I shrugged. Company's changing direction. But Jenna wasn't having it. Changing after everything you've done, no warning. Her voice rose, drawing eyes. It's fine, I said softly, but inside it wasn't. I don't make scenes. That's not me. As I left, Michael stood at his office door, watching me like a guard, making sure I'd go. No goodbye, no handshake, just a cold stare. What they didn't know, after 15 years, was that I mattered more than they thought. Not because I was some genius, but because I was thorough. I documented everything, set up security audit protocols during an old scandal, kept legal backups no one bothered to notice. In my car, I sat for a moment, staring at the 10-story building, where I'd spent half my life. The badge I'd just surrendered had been renewed 14 times. I started the engine, drove home, a faint smile tugging at my lips. They had no idea Wednesday would be interesting. I joined Horizon when it was just a small office on the outskirts of Austin. Lily, my daughter, was in kindergarten then. Now she's a sophomore in college. The company grew and I grew with it. I turned down offers from competitors because loyalty meant something to me, something I learned from my dad, a Texas factory worker. My wife, Emily, died of cancer when Lily was 10, leaving me and my girl to lean on each other. I treated the servers like a second family, knowing every line of code, every workaround, every fix for problems the higher-ups didn't even know existed. Michael became my boss 3 years ago, a young MBA type who called the IT team resources. Instead of people, he talked about modernization and efficiency, which always meant doing more with less. I tried explaining our complex systems, but he looked right through me. 6 months ago, he brought in Lucas Hayes, a consultant. From San Francisco, sharp suit, firm handshake, Stanford degrees splashed across his LinkedIn. He and Michael held hushed meetings, their voices dropping when I passed by. 3 months ago, I noticed my access permissions quietly changing small tweaks to admin controls. I could have raised hell, but instead, I watched, documented. You've been off lately, Lily said during a video call from her dorm. Work okay? I smiled, said it was fine, but I knew something was wrong. I was cut out of major projects. Emails about system upgrades stopped including me. Then I found it. An internal memo about it restructuring under Lucas's leadership. My name wasn't on the org chart that night. I ran a security check, one of those tasks no one else bothered with any more unspotted odd transactions. Regular payments to a company called Bright Future Solutions started last year, tied to a UPS store address. Small at first, but growing, totaling millions. I didn't say a word, just saved the data, knowing I'd stumbled onto something big. The quiet guy in the corner sees everything, precisely because no one thinks he's looking. As I left Michael Reed's office, my boots felt heavy as lead, but the fire of rage in my chest burned heavier. I walked back to my desk, the air at Horizon Innovations thick like a Texas summer day. The glances of younger co-workers, kids-eyed, taught to fix network crashes, recover lost files, write security code, skittered away like I was a ghost. News spreads fast, a wildfire tearing through Austin's plains. I packed my things mechanically. A photo of me and Lily at Zilker Park, her bright smile stabbing my heart. The coffee mug Lily made in 8th grade art class, scrawled with "Dad's a superhero." The tiny cactus, somehow surviving 15 years under office fluorescence. Jenna from marketing stopped by, her eyes red, voice trembling. "Ethan, I just heard. This is bullshit. You're the soul of this department. How dare they treat you like this?" I shrugged, keeping my voice steady. Companies changing direction. But Jenna didn't let up, her voice rising, drawing. Every eye in the office, changing. After 15 years, no warning. Michael and that new guy Lucas are tearing down everything you built. I gave a faint smile, not wanting a scene, but inside, the anger smoldered. This wasn't just a job decision, it was betrayal. As I left the building, Michael stood at his office door, his stare cold like he was watching a thief slip away. No goodbye, no handshake, just naked contempt. But what sent my blood boiling to the breaking point came that night. Jenna texted, her voice in a shaky audio clip, close to tears. "Ethan, you won't believe this. Michael and Lucas threw a party in your office right after you left. They used your mug for beer, laughing about clearing out the trash from the company." She sent a short video, and my heart felt crushed. Lucas, in his pricey suit, held up my coffee, McLilly's gift, made with a kid's love high, yelling to getting rid of the old fossil. Horizon doesn't need garbage like Carter. Michael laughed hard, clapping Lucas's shoulder, adding, he was just a shadow, clueless beyond his ancient code. We're free now. I watched the video, gripping my phone until my knuckles whitened. They didn't just fire me after 15 years, they mocked me, used my daughter's gift to celebrate, like I was disposable. Worse, the next morning, Ryan, a young engineer I'd mentored, texted hesitantly, "Ethan, I hate to believe it, but they're saying you stole company data. Michael says you're untrustworthy, that we should forget you." I sat in my car, staring at Horizon's building where I'd poured sweat, heart, and soul. I remembered nights spent fixing network failures, saving the company from security breaches, teaching the young team without asking for anything but trust. Now they slandered me, painted me as a traitor to cover their sins. I opened my old company emails still accessible through a backup account and found an internal thread. Lucas had written to the IT team, "Carter's done. Don't mention his name. He tried sabotaging the systems before he left, but I handled it." Michael replied, "Good. Make sure everyone knows he's a security risk. We need unity for the new horizon. I clenched my fists, nails digging into my palms, blood seeping, but I felt no pain. The real pain was this betrayal, not just of me, but of Lily, my daughter, who called me her superhero. This firing didn't just take my job, it threatened Lily's scholarship, her future, and the pride I'd built over 15 years. I thought of Emily, my wife, gone from cancer when Lily was 10. Before she passed, she held my hand, said, "You'll do great things, Ethan. Take care of Lily." I'd kept that promise, working relentlessly to give Lily a good life. Now Michael, Lucas, and Laura were shredding it. The rage surged, but I didn't yell. I'm an engineer, a father, a Texan. I don't act on impulse. I opened my personal laptop, plugged in a secure USB holding legal backups from an old security project. They thought I was an old fossil. They didn't know I'd built this system, and I held the keys to every door. The next day, I sat in my small home office, a cold coffee beside me. No alarm clock, no morning commute, just silence and the weight of what had happened. I opened my laptop, plugged in the secure USB data from a security audit 5 years ago, approved by the board, then forgotten. I reviewed the odd transactions I'd spotted before the firing. Regular payments to Bright Future Solutions, a company no one mentioned in meetings, totaling $4.5 million over 18 months, starting when Lucas showed up. I dug deeper, checking system logs accessible only to me through the security protocols I'd designed. The payments were approved by Laura Bennett, Horizon's CFO, with Michael's digital signature. Bright Future Solutions, a quick search showed, was registered to James Turner, Laura's brother-in-law, with a UPS store address in Dallas. The payments matched software contracts, but the prices were inflated, 15% to 20% above market. Not big enough to raise red flags right away, but enough to pile up millions. I opened backed up internal emails, one from Michael to Laura, sent 6 months ago. Carter's asking about software costs. Make sure he doesn't poke into Bright Future. Laura replied, "No worries. Lucas will replace him. Carter'll be gone soon." I gripped the desk, my pulse hammering. They didn't just fire me, they'd planned it, because I was a threat to their scheme. I found another fake company, Blue Horizon Consulting, registered to Laura's sister, paid $1.2 million for consulting services that never happened. Digging deeper, I uncovered emails between Lucas and Michael. Bright Future and Blue Horizon moved $500K this month. Keep Carter out, he's too nosy. Lucas replied, "Relax, I've locked his access. He suspects nothing." I sat still, feeling the knife in my back. They weren't just embezzling, they were rigging the company, using me as a scapegoat to hide their crimes. I remembered signs I'd missed. 3 months ago, Michael cut me from network upgrade projects, handing them to Lucas, who didn't even know our systems. Lucas bragged about modernization, but all I saw were new contracts, all with Bright Future. Once, I overheard Michael and Lucas whispering in a meeting room, "Once Carter's gone, we'll have more freedom." I thought they just wanted fresh blood, but now I saw they needed me out to protect their racket. That night, I got an email from Kevin, a former colleague who left Horizon last year. "Ethan, heard you got fired." Michael sent a company-wide email saying you tried sabotaging the systems. I don't buy it, but people are talking. I read Michael's forwarded email. Ethan Carter violated security policies, We must unite. To protect Horizon. My blood boiled. They didn't just steal my job, they trashed the reputation I'd built for 15 years, turning me into an enemy in the eyes of those I'd helped. I thought of Lily, bragging to her college friends that my dad built systems for a big company. I thought of Emily, who believed I'd always do the right thing. They didn't just betray me, they betrayed what I stood for. A father, an engineer, a loyal man. The rage burned like a furnace, but I didn't smash anything. I remembered my dad's words, anger's a weapon, but only if you know how to use it. Michael, Laura, Lucas, they thought I was prey. They didn't know I was a hunter, sharpening my blade. In my small home office, I sat at my laptop, eyes sharp as a knife. Austin's light spilt through the window, but my mind was focused like a 3 a.m. network crash. I didn't call Michael, didn't send threatening emails. Instead, I texted Zoe, an ex-colleague turned freelance hacker who'd helped me test network vulnerabilities. Zoe, need help. Big case, discreet. She replied instantly, send me details. I'm in. I checked my backups, internal emails, access logs, Bright Future, and Blue Horizon transactions. I sent the data to Zoe, asking her to trace hidden transfers. Within 24 hours, she sent back proof. The money funneled through offshore accounts, but a glitch in Laura's system left a trail to James Turner. Zoe added, Lucas was dumb enough to leave his password in an email. I got into his secondary account. I contacted Diane Foster, a board member I'd worked with on a security project. Diane, a sharp woman, always asked questions at audit meetings. Ethan, been a while, she said over the phone. What's up? I replied. 15 minutes. The board needs to hear this. She agreed to meet at a downtown Austin coffee shop. I opened the office cameras ones I'd installed for security, but Michael forgot to disable. Footage showed Lucas at my desk, using Lily's photos as a beer coaster, laughing with Michael. Carter thought he was vital, Lucas sneered. Just an old engineer, clueless about business. Michael nodded. Good, we ditched him early. Bright Future's gonna bring in millions more. I saved the clip, time-stamped it, added it to my growing report. I pulled more internal emails. Finding a thread from Laura to Michael. Carter asked about software budgets once. If he'd stayed, we'd be in trouble. Michael replied, he's gone. Lucas made sure no one suspects. Focus on the next 700,000. I printed everything, stacking it into a thick folder. Ryan texted, Ethan, I'm sorry. Michael threatened to fire anyone contacting you, but I know you didn't do anything wrong. I replied shortly, just watch, Ryan, truth's coming. Jenna sent another video, Michael throwing a lavish party in the conference room, inviting the IT team, boasting that Horizon's entering a new era, free of old baggage like Carter. They laughed, clinked glasses, while I sat here, a single dad, worrying about Lily's tuition. I called a lawyer, Mark Grayson, to protect me and Lily if Horizon struck back. Ethan, if you've got evidence, we'll crush them, Mark said. But be careful, these guys play dirty. I nodded, knowing exactly how dirty they were. Every night, I made lists. Send an anonymous email to Michael to rattle him. Prepare a detailed report for Diane. Backup data in 3 secure locations. I barely slept, but I wasn't tired. Every email, every clip, every taunt from Michael and Lucas honed me sharper. I remembered my days at Horizon, saving systems from collapse, mentoring the young team. They called me garbage, I built this system, and I knew every flaw. I opened my laptop, typed an email to Zoe. I've got enough evidence. Sending to the board this Wednesday. I want them to pay for me, for Lily, for everyone they've screwed. I hit send, and a cold smile curved my lips. The fight was on, and I don't lose. 3 days after sending the anonymous email to Michael Reed, I sat in my car, parked a block from Horizon Innovations headquarters in Austin. Texas sunlight blazed through the windshield, but my mind was cold as a blade. I wasn't the fired engineer who'd walked away quietly after 15 years of loyalty. I was a warrior, and today was the day I'd end this fight. I didn't call Michael, didn't text. Instead, I met Diane Foster, a board member, at a small downtown Austin coffee shop. "Ethan, I read your report," Diane said, her eyes sharp. "If this is true, it's the biggest scandal Horizon's ever faced." "You sure?" I slid a thick folder across the table. Internal emails, Bright Future Solutions, transactions, access logs, camera footage. "It's all there," I said. "The board just needs to act." Diane had contacted the FBI right after our meeting. Zoe, my old colleague turned hacker, sent more proof. Offshore transfers from Bright Future led straight to James Turner, Laura Bennett's brother-in-law. "Lucas left a trail like a kid," Zoe texted, attaching an internal email from Lucas bragging to Michael, "Carter's gone. It's our playground now." I planned to send the full report to the board during their Wednesday financial meeting, when Michael and Laura expected big bonuses. But first, I wanted to face Michael, not to argue, but to let him see I wasn't the old fossil he thought. Wednesday morning, I parked near Horizon's headquarters, opened my laptop, checked the office cameras once Michael forgot to disable. Michael and Lucas were in the conference room, prepping for the board. "Carter's not a problem anymore," Michael said, his voice smug. "He's clueless. Bright Future's bringing in another $800K this month." Lucas laughed, he thought. He was a superhero with that kid's mug. What a loser. I gripped the steering wheel, but held back. At 9 a.m., FBI vehicles quietly surrounded the building. I watched through the cameras as they stormed in, cuffing Lucas, mid-meeting, dragging him out like a trapped rat. Michael tried to stay calm, but his face went pale when Diane led agents in. Laura, in the CFO's office, was taken moments later. I stepped out of my car, walked straight into the building, a visitor badge hastily printed by security. I didn't plan to enter the boardroom, but Michael spotted me in the hallway, his eyes wild. "Carter, what are you doing here?" he stammered. I stopped, my stare cold as steel. "Be adults about this, right, Michael? This is me being an adult." I pulled out my phone, played the camera audio. Lucas mocking Lily's mug, Michael calling me garbage. His face drained. You hacked the system," he shouted. "No," I said, voice low. "I protected what I built. And what you stole from this company, from me, from Lily." I turned, leaving him shaking as FBI agents closed in. Jenna, from marketing, ran up, eyes blazing. "Ethan, they just cuffed Lucas. Everyone's saying you sent evidence to the board. Is it true?" I nodded, saying nothing more. I sent the final footage to Agent Patel with a note. "They bragged about Bright Future today. Finish it, too." Months later, I sat in the FBI's Austin office, hearing Agent Patel's update. Lucas got 8 years for fraud, conspiracy, and identity theft. Laura Bennett took 12, with my evidence as the cornerstone that broke their 3-state racket. Michael, the ringleader, got 15 years, the heaviest sentence for approving every transaction. They'd embezzled $4.8 million from Horizon, through Bright Future and Blue Horizon, stealing from shareholders, employees, and future projects. Thanks to you, Ethan, Patel said, handing me a file. We recovered $4.2 million. The company, employees, and shareholders owe you big. But justice didn't stop there. Horizon issued a public apology in a company-wide statement, admitting they'd slandered me as a security risk. The board offered me a new role, Chief Information Security Officer, reporting directly to them, with full system and budget oversight. I declined. After 15 years, I wouldn't return to a place that betrayed me. Instead, I sued Horizon for wrongful termination, winning $2 million in compensation, enough for Lily to finish college, and more. Then came Zoe's call a week after the trial. Ethan, you won't believe this, she laughed. Michael tried, sending an anonymous email from prison, slandering you to the press, but he used an old account I'd hacked. I forwarded it to the FBI. He's facing harassment charges now. I laughed, my first real laugh in months. Michael didn't just lose everything, he dug his own grave deeper, mocked across the tech industry. Laura, exposed by the press, had no shot at working in Austin again. Lucas, now a punchline on tech forums, was dubbed the dumb consultant. I used the settlement money to start my own company in Austin Carter Cybersecurity, protecting startups from internal corruption. Lily, now a college junior, works part-time with me, designing logos and bragging to friends. My dad's a real superhero. I bought a small house in the suburbs, with a backyard for Lily and our new dog, Rusty, to run in. I live off my company's income and a piece no one can steal. One afternoon, I got a letter from Ryan, the young engineer I'd mentored. Ethan, you saved Horizon. Everyone here respects you. I got promoted because of what I learned from you. Thank you. I pinned the letter to the wall, next to Lily's high school graduation photo. Every time I look at it, I know I didn't just reclaim my honor, I gave justice to others, betrayed like me. That night, I sat on my porch, Rusty curled up beside me, watching the sunset burn red over Austin's hills. Michael, Laura, Lucas were history locked up, disgraced, with no place left in the industry, and me. I took back what was mine, secured Lily's future, and built a new empire. Texas sunlight didn't burn like the day I was fired. I took a sip of beer, smiled. They thought they could destroy me. But I'm Ethan Carter, an engineer, a father, a warrior, and warriors will never fall.